Well, we all know that Bill Boeing got his start in aeronautics here in Seattle, but did you know that his first plane took off not on Boeing Field, but off of here, Lake Union?
And did you know that Bill Boeing is responsible for the first international air mail delivery? Well, if you didn't, now you do. And you're going to learn even more in this next MOHAI Minute.
Bill Boeing was born in Detroit in 1881 and arrived in Seattle to start a lumber company in 1902, just 1 year before the Wright brothers' first flight in North Carolina.
It was here in Seattle where Bill Boeing fell in love with airplanes. In fact, the first airplane ride he ever experienced took off from here on Lake Union in 1915. And just 1 year later, in 1916, Boeing and his partner Conrad Westervelt chose Lake Union as a departure point for the first plane of their own, the aptly named B&W, not to be confused with BMW.
It's this plane, though, that truly marks Boeing's entrance into aeronautics. It's a B-1 seaplane built in 1919, and it's the first commercial airplane to be designed and constructed entirely by the Boeing Airline Company.
And it's hard to tell from under here, but this airplane is actually not made of steel like most airplanes today. Instead, the hull is made of laminated cedar, and the wings are made of strips of linen sewn together and framed around Washington-grown spruce. In 1919, these materials would have been cutting edge, combining maximum strength with minimum weight.
This guy, Eddie Hubbard, is who really made the B-1 important, though. In 1919, Hubbard won a contract with the U.S. Postal Service to pilot the very first international airmail delivery from Seattle to Victoria, BC. He selected the B-1 as his plane and flew the route about 10 to 12 times each month for 7 years, clocking 350,000 miles, a record for that time, and burning through 6 engines.
After 7 years of service, the B-1 was retired from its international postal route and eventually purchased in 1942 by the Seattle Historical Society, MOHAI's precursor. A decade later, in 1952, when MOHAI officially opened, the B-1 was our prized possession. So important, in fact, that the museum was practically built around it. It's hung here in our Hall of Icons ever since.
That's just rude.